So guess what? The Jimmy Kimmel announcement was made. It's no big deal. What are you going to do? What's the big deal? Okay. They're going to lift the suspension or lift whatever it was, and Jimmy Kimmel's coming back. What does that mean? Anybody care about that? Anybody celebrating this? Have you noticed the biggest blah response to this? He's going to come back, tonight, I believe it is, and he's going to be made, or it's going to sound like he's some kind of a hero. Some kind of a hero. And what he's going to be doing is they're going to suggest that somehow this is some grand success in terms of I don't know what, when in fact it's not. He's going to come back, he's going to claim everything, but they're going to tell him, if you think you can come back and say whatever you want about either Charlie Kirk or anybody, you're out of your mind. That's it. If you think you're going to get away with this, and see, that's the beautiful part about this. See, that's the part which I find so fascinating. And the reason why is simply this. These individuals have nothing to stand for. They have no claim. They have no position. They have no really much of anything. They have nothing to stand for. Republicans have many, many positions, obviously, as you can imagine. And we'll talk about the Tylenol, acetaminophen reaction yesterday. The Democrats don't. So right now, Kimmel and Crockett are now the truth. They're it. Jasmine Crockett is all over the place. Jasmine Crockett is a fool, but they love her because she gets a lot of clicks, a lot of attention, a lot of focus. And I think AOC would be wonderful in 28. Wonderful. Bring her on, please. Assuming it's going to be J.D. Vance. Can you imagine J.D. Vance against AOC? She's a little better. She's a little bit better than Kamala. So let me ask you this big question, my friend. What do you think about yesterday's big announcement? Did you expect something? What was your thoughts regarding autism? Did I miss something? Did you think there was something to this other than acetaminophen linked to that? Did you miss something? I have been waiting for the connection regarding vaccines. This is what I was told for the longest time. Vaccines. This was Bobby Kennedy's bread and butter. Not so much thimerosal, but vaccines and all of the kids that are receiving. But acetaminophen? Autism is because of that? That's where it's from? What's your take on that? Am I missing the point? Am I being mean? Listen, I think that's terrific. Good. God bless you. I have been told forever, acetaminophen, Tylenol, with number 3, with codeine, they always said, be careful. That'll tear up your liver. Okay. That's it. That's not what I had expected. But I'm not an expert. I know and nothing about this. This could be the biggest story of all time. Or of all time, excuse me. This could have been the biggest thing anybody's ever seen. This story might have been the biggest thing anybody's ever seen. I'm seeing right now that there is the announcement was that the Trump administration, when Bobby Kennedy said there is mounting evidence suggesting a possible link between acetaminophen, the active ingredient of Tylenol used during pregnancy, and autism and ADHD. The FDA has initiated a label change process for acetaminophen products. Pregnant women are being urged to use it only when necessary at the lowest possible dose for the shortest possible time. Who wants to use it at all? Simultaneously, officials announced that leucovorin, which is a folinic acid related to folate metabolism, will be recognized under a label update for children with cerebral or cerebral folate deficiency and autism-like symptoms. Medicaid state programs will be able to cover it. Additionally, the NIH is launching new research funding via their Autism Data Science Initiative, involving dozens of projects to dig into environmental, genetic, medical, nutritional, and social factors. What experts are saying, they're saying no proven cause and effect. Scientists stress that while some cohort studies show associations, none confirm that acetaminophen causes autism. Many studies fail to account sufficiently for confounding variables, fever and pregnancy, other medications, underlying health issues. Leucovorin may help a subset of children, especially those with documented cerebral folate deficiency, particularly for speech and communications deficits. Medical associations continue to recommend acetaminophen as among the safer over-the-counter. Okay, so here is my question. Let's start off by saying this. We do not know. We are not experts. Is this what you had expected? Is this? Now, by the way, we don't care when I bring this up whether you've taken acetaminophen, whether you can tolerate it, whether you have had any side effects, whether it works for you, whether you like something else. That's not the issue. Let me see if I can do this again. We love your own pharmacological studies. We love your anecdotes about how Tylenol worked for you. A nice buffered aspirin works. I like. That's fascinating. That's not what we're talking about. Is this what you thought you'd be hearing when they talked about autism and Bobby Kennedy? Think about what I'm saying. Now, I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. We don't know anything about this. I'm sorry, we don't. We know nothing about that. Nothing about that. So while you think about this and while you dig up your favorite aspirin anecdotal stories, let me remind you of our great work very quickly of our sponsor. My friends, the shit is going to hit the fan, and when it does, you are going to wish to Almighty God that you had paid attention and gone with preparewithlionel.com. The link is in the description section of this video. The shit is going to hit the fan. I don't know how it's going to be done. I don't know the particular means by which it's going to be done, but it's going to happen. That's all. That's all. If you don't take advantage of this now, don't say we didn't warn you. That's all I want to say to you. That's simple. Now, people will, of course, make so much. They'll way into this and they'll talk about this. I don't know what I was waiting for. I think it is great. I don't know anything about autism. Nothing. Neither do you. But that's not what I had thought. Bobby Kennedy has been talking forever about the idea, the notion of, and this is important, the notion of vaccines, whether vaccines cause a problem, whether vaccines. You understand this? Let's see what happens. Let's hope this is the beginning of a change, because as you know, that terrible part of me says, here we go again. Here's the limited hangout. There we go. They're going to tell us that this was the big announcement, and nothing's going to happen. We're going to find nothing about Charlie Kirk. We're going to find nothing about whether there was another shooter. We're going to find nothing about anything. Nothing. There's a lot of discussion. I was watching the great Alex Jones talking about 30-06 and whether it's, we can opine all day long. You're going to see nothing about this. You're going to see no results. You're going to see no official findings. You're going to see nothing. Absolutely nothing. We'll never be able to know the truth. And the real question, the question that we want to know more than anything else, the question that we want to know very, very simply is this. This is important. This is critical. The question that we want to know is, what really happened? Understand this? Now, Here's the thing. Do you believe for a moment we're going to ever get to the bottom of this? No. And I don't know why. Look, I have been through this with JFK, RFK, MLK, Watergate, Vietnam, 9/11. And there's been some fantastic stuff. And let me tell you something about our friend Alex Jones, just as an example. Tell me one person, one, that you have heard on either mainstream media or what, who has been as, sometimes you might say reckless, but who has been as courageous or has put out as much as he has. Who? Who's that person? Tucker? Just kidding. Candace Owens? Who? Tell me somebody. And I'm not saying everything is right, but where who is the most dangerous person today in alternative media? Who is it? Who is the most dangerous person? Who? There is none. There is none. There are people who are going to just take what's there and they're going to try to stir it up as much as possible. And that's great, and I appreciate that. But the bottom line is simply this. We need really gutsy, wild stuff. We need people to come forward and shake this up. And I hate to tell you this, but nobody's out there doing it. Nobody. It's just not there. They don't exist. And you're not going to find them having existed because of reasons that you're not going to see anything other than the usual subject. Somebody who really goes out there and really, not recklessly, says something. Now, I know you like Candace Owens, and many people do. She better really watch it. Remember that Macron case is going to be bad news at Blue Rock. Bad news. If I were her, I would say just put that out of the way, get that out of the way, move on, and hope to God it just loses steam. Don't bring that up again. Nobody cares about that. Just like Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. How is it that nobody has even suggested anything about the president's assassination? Nothing. Doesn't that get you? You see, what we do is this. We love for people who yell the loudest. Excuse me, I got a piece of flaxseed. If there's somebody out there who is really screaming and yelling, we will love them. We will listen to them. We will take everything they say as though it means something, when in fact it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. I'm really waiting for something. Did you see that Tom Homan case? Am I the only one who wants to know a little bit more about that? They said there's nothing to worry about. Allegedly taking money in a bag. I don't know. Would you like to see something about that? Nothing to see here. Would you like to see something about that? I would. What happened to Pam Bondi? Is she just is she just gone? Excuse me, is Epstein over? We need somebody who doesn't make a lot of noise, who isn't polished, who doesn't sit in a nice studio with 2 or 3 cameras, who talks about stuff that's... Do you think anything, and I mean this, do you think we're ever going to get anywhere, at least in this country, regarding Israel, or as Candace says, Israel on the street? Do you think so? I don't. Nothing. It'll be contained. But do you think there was a piece yesterday in the New York Post that said that Tucker Carlson was spouting anti-Semitic tropes? Did you see that? Anybody talking about that? No. Tell me the biggest story, the biggest breakthrough we're going to get. Tell me. Epstein? What is the story that you think is the most important that we just forgot about? What story out there do you say, that was the weirdest thing? 1 minute we're talking about it, and then we're not. Then we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. What was the story? What was the story? What do you think? What was the story? that you just say, whatever happened to it? What happened? 9/11, to an extent. But tell me something. What was the one that Epstein just died? And don't be in a position, my friends. I know many of you like people. You like reporters or shows like you like a favorite Beatle. That's not it. Oh, I like him. I like her stuff. I like her. She's funny. He's funny. Somebody said, I watched Michael Savage. I like him. He's funny. Okay. He's saying some pretty gutsy things. Who makes the most news regarding issues that really affect us? Who? I don't know. I don't know. But I will tell you this much. The person that they want more than anybody else is Alex. Keep an eye also on Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is also going to be somebody whose mouth, he's angry and he's too young and he likes Candace to an extent. They like raising hell. They love when people say, oh my God, did you hear what he said? Laura Loomer too. Laura Loomer is extremely critical, yet sometimes her focus seems to be a little bit too much in one particular direction. But that's okay. And I'm not talking about their personality. Nick Fuentes says so many things between his deliberately vituperative work that I find to be very, very, very interesting. So let me just tell you this much. Remember, I'm telling you this. You were going to find out absolutely nothing regarding Charlie Kirk. Nothing. Number two, and I mentioned this yesterday, and I hate to say this to you. Turning Point USA without Charlie Kirk, whoever wanted to destroy that message did it. Erica Kirk, as great as she is not Charlie Kirk. Nobody is. Nobody. Not Ben Shapiro, not Tucker, not Benny Johnson, not anybody who swears that they were Charlie's best friend. Everybody was Charlie's best friend. Everybody. Everybody was Charlie's best friend. Everybody. Everybody knew Charlie better than everybody. Okay, fine. And I understand. That was a wonderful event. And it showed people how powerful he was. And there were a lot of people who were heartbroken. But is there anybody there to catch that momentum? No. Name one person today who can go out there and say, I'm the next Charlie Kirk. I've got the youth. He was a young man. There was something about him. He was youth. He was big. He was just people liked him. And he knew a lot. Smart as a whip. Is there anybody? No. And we can talk about it all day long. And we can say things like Turning Point will always, of course it'll always be there. The Heritage Foundation will always be there. And that's great. But I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you today to think about this. I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you really believe in? Do you believe in people or do you believe in issues? Do you really want to know the truth or do you want to hear lollipops and unicorns and cotton candy and good stuff? What is it that you want? Do you want to hear positive news always about the president or do you want to hear reality? I'm an adult. I want to hear reality. I'm not going to waste my time jumping up and down and saying, hey, this is the turning point. No pun intended. I had on the other day Dane Wigington. Dane Wigington did one of the most important pieces about what he and Lee Zeldin and Bobby Kennedy and others, they're still into this business about jet exhaust and all this. They took geoengineering and they killed it. Big letdown. I don't know if they bought Bobby off. I don't know if they scared Bobby. But Bobby Kennedy ain't the Bobby Kennedy that I knew. That's not the Bobby Kennedy I wanted. And when you have this when I got all these people, you're talking about acetaminophen? Can you name one person? Can you name one major Department of Justice arrest? Go ahead. Anybody? Anybody? Can you name one major Department of Justice arrest? Big. Fauci, that what's her name is now, Walensky, whatever the second. Anybody? Can you? No. Can you think of anybody? No. Is there anybody? No. Nobody. Whatever happened with Doge? I don't know. Elon kind of sort of made amends and You saw him back again? The president has made a pact, a blood pact with big tech. He sold us out to AI. You don't like to hear that, do you? Maybe he doesn't know it. Maybe he doesn't realize it. He sold us out. I told you from the very beginning, that AI is the existential threat. It threatens the very existence of our people. I also told you, by the way, that Erica would forgive this Tyler fellow. Remember that one? I told you that. And it's true. I knew it. She's also going to one day meet with him to really show, though they're going to really object to that because they're going to say, you can't talk about the case. There's his lawyers are going to be against, whatever. But she's going to try to. She's going to try to pull what the Pope did in 83. You understand what I'm saying? You've got to understand something. You've got to stop just believing in all this nicey stuff. God bless his president. I love the guy. But when he sat there with all those people, Altman and Gates and Zuckerberg at his table, that's it. And Melania, bless her heart. Did you read her story about AI? Stop it. Stop it. I don't mean any harm. Stop it. I'm not stupid. I've been through this my whole life. I've seen this my whole life. Don't you understand? I've been through this before. We still don't know who killed JFK or Bobby Kennedy. I mean, we have some ideas. Government never did anything. Oh, they're going to release some things. Didn't remember we talked about UFOs? Nothing. When Trump got there, they probably made a deal with him and said, "No, listen, we're going to let you make a lot of important things. We'll let you close the border down, sort of, but you are not going to stop giving money to Israel, and you're not going to defund NATO. You are not going to do that. You have too many of your friends, too many weapons folks, or too many Wall Street big shots who would lose everything. You're not going to do that. You're not going to go after child abuse in AI. You're not going to mention it. You're not going to mention anything about this. Nothing, because we don't want that connection to be made at all. Period. End of discussion. You're not going to, even Diddy, what are you talking about that? Epstein, forget about it. It's gone. It's done. It's finished. Pam Bondi, he hires the most incompetent people ever. You got Pete Hegseth. You like Pete because you liked him on Fox. Pete does push-ups. If you think that guy knows what he's doing with the Department of Defense, you're out of your mind. You needed a Colonel McGregor. If you think that Marco Rubio for the Secretary of State, don't make me laugh. So all I know is simply this. Give the left their Jimmy Kimmel. Let them enjoy this. It doesn't matter. That whole thing is going to be done with in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter. And by the way, yes, there was mafia-like enforcement. Yes, there was. Yes, absolutely. Ted Cruz was correct. They really lowered the boom. They really did. I mean, they came down hard on him, big time. I mean, it was like out of Goodfellas. It was Jimmy the Gent Burke. You know it, and I know it. But here's the thing, and I'll admit it. We like this guy, and we frankly don't like Kimmel. So you know what? Okay, nobody cared about us when Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer were sending letters to Rupert Murdoch saying you better fire Tucker. Remember that one? So I'm in the position of, yeah, you're right, but I don't really care. Because you never cared when our person was upset. Why should I care about yours? That's simple. Okay? That's simple. And what's the most important right now? What is the most critical out of everything that is possible, out of everything that we have here, out of every single thing that is occurring before us right now, the most important issue of them all is what's going to happen in the midterms. And I don't know if we're going to get anything out of. I mean, I don't know where these young people are going to go right now. They might be going to church, but I don't think we're going to necessarily keep them for us. I don't think we're going to be able to corral them into voting. I don't think so, because there's nobody there. There's no infrastructure. A lot of people want Charlie Kirk and Turning Point to go away because they can't control it. They were jealous of him. They didn't like his control. And frankly, if they can't be in control, nobody should be in control. Now, I don't want to be negative. This is not being negative. I'm telling you the truth. You understand this? I do not want to in any way, I mean this, I do not want to be negative as construed. A lot of people just like good things and they want to have good things happen, and that's wonderful. But let me tell you something. So far, with 200 and whatever days that we're here, we haven't done anything. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but if you understand, if you think the acetaminophen response or reaction was something that big, I must have watched a different press conference. That's not what I was looking for. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought his whole thing was about vaccines and autism. Didn't you? Of course you did. It's what you intuitively thought. It's what you intuitively expected. But yet again, as in the case of Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, it's like a limited hangout. They bring you in and they release something which is either a portion of or a morsel of something else. Okay? All right. So that's it, my friends. You have a great and a glorious night. Don't get upset. We'll see you later today. Make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. Think about this, though. Think about this. Do not be played for a fool. Just because you want certain things to happen doesn't mean they will happen, okay? And we're going to make it no matter what. But remember, so far, is there a big moment of celebration? No. Do we have the borders taken care of? Yeah. What about the people who are already in here? Where are they? Anybody arrested? Midterms? Nothing. Nothing. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious day. See you later. Don't forget the monkey. Oh, by the way, 77 WABC. Listen to us overnights, 1 to 5 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be heading to the station, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern, 77 or 770 WABC. If you go to my YouTube or my X channel account, right at the top, pinned are all the things you need to know. All right, friends. Have a great and glorious day. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. See you.